Hey y'all, it's Brad Allen with the Art of Real Estate. And the other day I was at an event and an agent came up to me and said, hey, what would you do if you didn't have a closing for the next 60 days and wanted one? And it's a really good question because there's a lot of agents that probably in the same boat. First, I was like, listen, don't panic. It's nowhere to like set the alarm. However, like don't be still. Like we have to get our butt up and going a little bit. So I've got some really good ideas for you, but before I get there in this video, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. What that does, it allows me to keep this content flowing because I put it out every Friday and I want it to get to as many people as possible so that way we can keep sharing the good news and hopefully give people tips and tricks to be better realtors every single day. So now let's get back to the video. First, let's re-engage our sphere. You really need to take a long look at when was the last time you talked to people in your database? When's the last time you had a conversation, a coffee? What was it that worked for you previously? And if everything that leads, put it aside, but what worked with you in Sphere? Was it events that you did? Was it nonprofit volunteerism? What was it that worked? And then go do more of it. There's a story I like to tell people, especially in my company. Back in the day, I was trying to work out with this workout group and it was a running group and I'm not a runner. And every time after we work out, I'm just gasping on the ground, like trying to breathe. And one of the guys came up and he's like, hey Brad, you know what can make you run faster? And I was like, no. He's like, just run further. So I want to kind of take that same analogy and put it to your business. Whatever you're doing, you just got to do more. It's a different market. Things are taking longer to sell. Buyers are being more reluctant. So if you want to do the same amount of deals as you did last year, you're going to have to do more. So you're going to have to double down, triple down, quadruple down. I don't know how many downs you're going to have to do, but it's going to be more than you're doing now if you're not getting the results you want. Next, you got to work your database. If you don't have a database, you need to go back and watch those videos. But if you have one and you've neglected it, like a lot of people have, go back, look at old leads, people that you haven't talked to 3, 5, 7 years. You know what's really good about those people? They probably haven't bought yet, or if they did, they might be up for a new transaction. So just because they're old doesn't mean they're not worth anything. Go back to those people. Maybe you got to cold call them. Maybe you got to reintroduce yourself. Maybe you just need to rekindle a conversation that you haven't had for several years. But you've got gold in your database. You just haven't been tapping into it. So you need to look at it with a new fresh set of eyes and say, how can I make money off this person? What can I do to help them? Maybe they want to buy an investment property this year. Maybe their kid's going to college. Maybe they're downsizing. Maybe they want a condo. Who knows? But everybody will probably have some sort of financial real estate need in the next several years. And you just got to look at each person individually with their lifestyle and what you know about them and see if there's something that you can help them with to fulfill the needs and also get you a closing. You're also going to have to double down on lead gen. And I'm not talking about door knocking, although that could be your thing. I've never had good success with that. But what I've had good success was maybe running Facebook ads. And I know that sounds a little foreign to you, but hey, you've got time. You're not closing stuff right now. Take a quick tutorial on a YouTube channel and figure out how to do a Facebook ad. But here's what I recommend. If you don't have a listing right now, or if you do, either way, take that listing and then target market that listing to a neighborhood that is maybe a price point down and in the same general vicinity, definitely the same elementary school zone. Because what you want to do is show this house to people that were not thinking about buying or selling in the same neighborhood so it's not that hard. If you're blasting it to New York State, that's going to be really kind of hard to get a buyer from it. But if it's somebody already local in the community that's, maybe looking, maybe not, you can intrigue them just a little bit by doing that. The other thing is like, what's your niche? What do you enjoy doing? Right now, y'all, first-time home buyers, they're on the fence and they don't really want to be. They need a reason to get off of it. I'm not a huge advocate of workshops. Statistically, they don't work, but we have had agents in the past in our company do something that's really kind of cool. It was called Gulps and Gains, where they would invite all their friends and family and all their past clients, and they would do a quick market update, maybe at a local brewery, maybe at a little draft house, and talk about the market. But they'd also say, hey, when you come, bring a friend. And they would team up with a local lender. They would team up maybe the title company or attorney and have a little bit of a workshop going on with it. So that way the conversations can be drawn out of these people as you're having a pint of beer or maybe a glass of wine. And one of my last ideas, instead of door knocking, what if you cloverleafed a neighborhood? It may not be your closing, and that's okay. You're not taking credit for it. But what if a closing just happened in a neighborhood you like to work, or your neighborhood? What if you sent or dropped off or put door hangers on 50 doors around that property, letting them know, hey, our neighbor's house just sold for X amount per square foot. Let me know if you'd like a free CMA in your house to see if you can get the same value or even more. So rather than door knocking, having those awkward conversations or people people being scared to open the door because it's, a new day and age in this world. You could actually give them information, let them know what's going on. It's not hard, it's not overbearing, but it also introduces you to new people. It also gives them a service, and you may be able to pick up potential people, because one of the proven stats is when the house sells in a neighborhood, multiple houses then pop up. That's why they call it Cloverleafing, because they keep popping up everywhere. You could take advantage of that without even having a client. So after you've had these events, you've done this door knocking, you've done this Cloverleafing, follow up is where you make your money. Do not just say, hey, yeah, give me a call. You need to tag your calendar. You need to be a little bit aggressive, but not so much they don't want to answer your phone calls. But you're going to make money in the follow-up. So if you don't have a plan for follow-up, before you do anything, before you reach out to your past clients, your sphere, your database, door knocking, open houses, whatever, have a follow-up plan. Because once you do that, you're meeting 20, 30 people at a time. Now you can follow up them. So you're now hopefully following up with 100 to 200 people, and you can keep that all in your database, all in your CRM, touching them when you need to, and giving them the value that they deserve. And honestly, that should pay you dividends as well. But do not forget the follow-up. And lastly, you need to create some urgency. We just created a little flyer here in our company with our mortgage company talking about if a buyer waited for interest rates to come down. So let's say today they're at 6.5%, and they said, hey, I'm gonna wait until interest rates come down to 5.5. Well, what would that look like? So we've created a flyer to help these people understand that if you waited 2 years for the interest rate to go from 6.5 to 5.5, what would that look like with the house that you should have bought 2 years ago appreciating, equity, wasting money on rental payments, that kind of stuff. But you know what it does? It takes an objection that they have, it puts it on paper, and it creates urgency, saying, guys, if you start now, you'll be better off in 4 years rather than waiting 2 years to get a better interest rate. You'll be way above the curve. So whatever that means to you, you need to figure out what an urgency tactic could be for every different kind of client you're talking to. So that way they don't just sit on the fence and stay frozen. You've got to help them understand that buying or selling right now could be a good option for them. It also couldn't be, so don't lie to people, but it could be a good option. If it is, it's on you to help them understand that. That is why you're here. You're supposed to guide people. So make sure you understand what the urgency can be. And if you want to see that flyer that we made, drop me a comment below or DM me. I'll be happy to share that with you, and you can make your own. So hopefully these tactics are helping you find a closing the next 60 days. If you're still kind of confused, shoot me a DM. I'd love to get on the phone with you for about 15 minutes. We can talk through some ideas and hopefully get you one, if not two closings on the books in the next 60 days. Don't give up, double down. You've got this. Good luck.